Hey, what's up, everybody? Podcast time.
Hello, let's do it.
Scott Slate, Jamie Barfield, and 8 cups of coffee.
Together again. Here we go.
We did this one other time where we tried to make you taste the difference in the cups of coffee. But today we're just going to have a podcast with 4 different types of coffee.
Okay.
And we're going to get conversation while also gathering perspective from each cup of coffee. So let's undo number 1. No lids, because lids make it harder to
hamper
taste.
the taste, yeah.
From the smell, I can tell what it is.
Yeah.
I know, without even tasting it, this is Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. So you were in a
hot coffee
class?
Yes. I've taken a...
This was when you went to California?
No, this was in Charleston. I just went down to Charleston.
Went down to Charleston, hung out, and took a class.
Yeah, went down to the Balzac Brothers. They offer different classes in coffee education or the coffee field. And this one in particular was a cupping class. And basically it's a tasting class where you learn to taste the different qualities in coffee.
Black coffee is so bitter.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like the truest form of coffee. You get the real.
So you took a cupping class and they poured it in the cup for you.
Well, you'd have a certain amount of coffee grounds you put in. I can't remember the exact weight now, and they'd put it into 5 cups, and there was a certain amount of water that would go in. It's all like measured out, and then you would take to go around and try it, you'd take your cupping spoon, and you take a spoonful of it first, slurp it. Slurping was mandatory. Okay. Slurp it in. Get a little bit of the coffee in every bit of your tongue. You have different tasting flavors in the front, back, sides of your tongue, and then you have to spit it out into the cup, and then record what you had tasted, and then you'd have to do it like cup number 2 all the way down to number 5, and then you would compare your notes, say to everyone else in the room. I was not so good in that class either.
So comparing my notes, do you feel like this is Dunkin' too?
I mean, I don't drink enough Dunkin' to say,
either.
But
like, what do you think about this cup of coffee?
It's got a dark smell.
Yeah. It's not our coffee, right?
I feel like it's a little too bitter to be ours. I feel like ours is a bit smoother than that. To me, this is like
I don't know the answer. Neither does he.
I mean, could be a home
I'm not sure
brew,
who does.
like
Caleb may know the answer. Caleb is
like
we're in our new podcast room, and so we are still working out kinks. So right now we can't hear Caleb or see Caleb, but we're gonna pause for 3 seconds to see. Caleb, do you know the answer to these?
Yes.
Okay, he does.
He does. Well, somebody good, because
a little
bitter, dark.
You need to spit it out. Are you letting it touch every part of your tongue?
Well, as it goes down, I'm not swishing it around because I don't.
I swished mine around.
And then you take it down.
I mean, I just did because you told me that's what to do, so I just did it that way.
Well, I'm gonna finish this cup here just like this. I mean, it's kind of like pizza at this point. It's like there's not really a bad pizza. It's not terrible coffee. It's just coffee.
Remember your first cup of coffee?
Yeah.
The coffee that sets you up for this amazing journey that you're
on. I do.
Did you finish yours?
No, I still got a little bit left.
All right, just make sure.
I do remember that. I was even thinking about that today because I was going to ask you, what was is that your best cup of coffee also? I mean, I know it was my cup of my best because the memory of it.
I have a different best cup of coffee ever.
You do? What's yours?
I went to a place locally called the Golden Egg.
Oh, really?
And I had a cup of coffee there. that I thought, this is the best cup of coffee I've ever had in my life.
Really? The golden
I
egg.
went back since then, and the coffee hasn't been that, like, phenomenal. So I don't know
But in
what
that
it
moment,
was in that moment.
but it was like that at
With
the
Roses.
Fuente,
Yeah.
and Fusa Gasuga.
Yeah.
We had the one that was the one, and then everyone after that was like, no, this isn't it. Maybe the next one will be like that one.
Do you remember? I'm going to cup number 2.
Okay.
Pushing this one aside.
Should we clear the palate? Do you get?
No clearing of the palate. Yours is a little weaker.
Yeah.
The smell's not quite as there.
Not as pungent. Ooh. I take that back what I said before about the... It's never had the pizza reference. That one...
This has to be
That's
Keurig.
testing that theory right there. Number 2.
This has to
number
be Keurig
2
coffee.
is a fitting name for this one. That's right. On that one there. I don't know.
Number 2 is a
don't
fitting
know.
name for it. I love
I don't
it.
know about that one. I would say that's close to a Keurig.
Got to be a
coffee
Keurig,
there.
right? I
Yeah.
hope this isn't ours.
No, like I said, I would not. Unless, well, again, what we've learned since we did the time travel to on the other side of the world
Yeah.
is that coffee is so... The really, really cool thing about coffee is there's so many different ways you could take this, like, you call it the strand of coffee, and it's the way where you grow it, how you grow it, how you...
What kind of cup you drink it out of.
Right. How you roast it, how you brew it, and then how you drink it, all can affect the flavor of the same...
When we time
strand.
traveled, we went into a coffee shop, I guess. Is that the right way to say it? Like a cafe type.
Yeah.
And
Deuces.
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Deuces. And so on there they had like it was called like a pour over or something, right?
Yeah.
And so they brought it to you in like this charcuterie board with 2 cups on the charcuterie board and a pot of coffee. Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And you poured the coffee into either a rectangle cup or an oval cup, and out of the same pot,
Same coffee.
and whichever one you drank it out of, it had a different flavor.
Different tasting notes when you were going to come out through that cup. And I did not believe it at first. I was like, that can't be. I don't understand. Johnny was telling us about it before we got in there, and I was like, that sounds a little bit sophisticated. I don't know if,
It ain't going to work on me.
Right.
I'm the coffee guy. It ain't going to work on me.
And then it did, and I was like, wow, I can't believe, like, it's so cool. So I couldn't wait to come back and then I called our coffee guy in Charleston where I get our coffee from, and I was like, hey, get ready, I'm going to blow your mind with this. You drink he's a pour over guy. You need to get these 2 different cups, and this is the way to do it.
And did he say, yeah, I've heard that?
No, he said he'd never had, and then on the phone while I'm talking to him, he's looking up, oh, I'm gonna order these cups right now, and then I'm gonna try this out as well.
We went to the Philippines and Japan on the way through.
Tokyo, yeah.
Seoul, Korea on the way through. Was it Seoul, Korea?
Yeah.
Seoul, Korea on the way through.
And well, at that time, wasn't Korea going through
like
some
civil
kind of
war?
Yeah. And we had no idea.
Creepy. Like, why is my mom's texting me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I think so. I don't know. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, we didn't get
What's
breakfast.
the wildest thing that you've ever eaten on the mission field? I'm going to cup 3, okay?
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Number 2
keep it going.
was number 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I'm
cup
not so
3.
excited about number 2.
Okay,
We don't have to
the
do that
weirdest, wildest thing you've ever eaten on the mission field.
again. Man. Well,
That's a good cup of coffee right there.
yeah.
Just the smell. It
Um,
smells delicious. It smells
yeah.
like a good cup of coffee.
Well, there was on this latest trip was
You had a
um
couple of weird things on this one.
the octopus on the
Octopus was weird on the
airplane
airplane, yeah.
was
Octopus in and of itself is weird, but to have it on an airplane,
yeah,
it's a little wild.
but I was in the mood. We were in the mood then. I mean, we were already all in. Like, there's no stopping us. There was very little questions. Normally, I know even here, they're like, oh, here, try this, and you say, oh, well, what what
That's a
is
good
it?
cup of
What's in
coffee.
there? And
You're gonna like this one.
here you're on there. You were like, yeah, just give it to me. What I'll try it. Whatever. Give me the thing at the 7-Eleven when I was like, give me one of those, and she's like, that you want that?
It was so bad. You got it
was.
into the room and you took a bite of it and you were like, nah, I can't finish
It was a few day old, yeah, and I don't know if I ever did because, I mean, we ate a lot that trip.
Yeah, on that trip, I think the weirdest thing I ate was probably the pork chicken balls on the flight from the Philippines. Remember, like, it was like this chicken ball type thing?
I mean, the Philippine Air.
Yeah.
No, don't bring. Yeah, those things. That
It was weird. Had a weird consistency.
very questionable.
It was weird.
That was.
Like, tasted weird. It was just weird.
The dude next to me though was getting down on them. He loved
up.
those things.
He was eating them up.
I thought
I've never
I was
been on a
doing
flight
something
where.
wrong.
Have you tried this one yet?
Not yet.
It's delicious. Try it. I've never been on a flight where they feed you.
That one's hot too, so it makes it real good.
Yeah. I've never been on a flight where they feed you anything other than Sun Chips and a little cup of Sprite. We were
Back
on
in
a
the
flight
old
for
days,
so
they
long.
did. Well, I had my first quiche on a flight
Stop
from
it.
Pittsburgh to California once. The first time I ever had quiche.
Our first flight, they woke us up to feed us.
Oh yeah.
They fed us all the time.
You couldn't.
We had 3 meals on that flight. It was so long.
Yeah. And it was great, cause yeah. I mean,
And I'm talking about, like, I say meals. We had like a meal, like a full like chicken Alfredo type meal.
and they're not TV dinners either.
Oh, no.
These were like
salad and
Yeah.
biscuits and all that. I mean, it was full tray meal, like nice meal.
Mhm.
Then, like 2 hours later, they came back through with.
the pizza pie thing.
Was it like the
man.
Hot Pocket then?
Oh man,
It was
I
so
missed
good.
that
You
on
missed
the
it.
fly
You slept through
back.
that one.
I was wanting that.
I crushed that one. Then they fed you again like 3 hours later with like, and during that time they're still walking around with like peanuts
The
and trays of.
And it's
snacks.
not those like gingerbread things. They had the bags of Sun Chips, the Snickers
Yeah.
bars, I mean, it was a grade A variety they
Yeah.
were giving us there. It was.
And it's not
Yeah.
like we had like first class tickets, so of course they're doing that in first class. No, we were looking at first class, going, wow,
Yeah.
that looks really cool up there.
No, it was nice. That was a good flight.
So fed us multiple times on that flight. I've never been on a flight where they feed you dinner, but that was my
No.
first.
And it was good. Like I would recommend that flight, that food.
I think this one's ours.
I think so too. It's hot. It's smooth.
It's smooth.
It goes all the way right down.
Smells good.
No aftertaste.
No, this is some Palmetto Pointe Church coffee right there. If this is our Keurig coffee, I'm back to drinking Keurig stuff.
I've never tried ours out of the Keurig.
Somebody in our
That
church
was a little.
wanted us to do the pods, and so they bought the system to put the pods together, and so now we sell potted coffee
pods, yeah, which is great. It's other people get to enjoy the coffee. And it's pretty good coffee.
What's wrong with like Starbucks coffee?
Well, I find because if you're drinking Starbucks bean water, the just black coffee, it's a very dark and it's very bitter. It's almost similar to
Number two.
number one.
No, number 2. Number 1?
I would think Starbucks would be similar to number one. It had the bitter.
This one has
bitter
no
taste
smell
to it.
whatsoever. This has to be Keurig coffee.
And then, is it?
No, mine has no smell whatsoever.
It doesn't.
I smell the cup, not even the coffee in the cup.
Yeah.
It's not a bad flavor.
I don't know. You can taste a little bit of the cup, I think.
Maybe that's what I smell.
If it is the Keurig.
Keurig stuff.
It's got a little bit of a plastic tang to it.
I think somebody should comment in where we should try coffee from. Let us know who has the best cup of coffee around here. Because in my head, it's really hard to get a better cup of coffee than number 3 right there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Because I would contest that we have the freshest coffee. I think we got a pretty good roast, and
I think 4 is Keurig.
And I think it takes a whole. I mean, it really is satisfying. I'm done with my 3. 2 is still. You can have my 2 if you want.
Please, 2 don't be our coffee.
I know.
Caleb, tell us what each one of them are. Yeah.
So we have coming in.
Number 1's Dunkin'.
At number 1, Starbucks.
Okay.
I thought it was the dark.
Very bitter. Very bitter.
That was my thing with Starbucks. That's why you got to sugar it up, cream it up. That's why everybody comes out with the dessert coffee rather than
coffee.
Well, yeah, not to offend anybody, but
Number 2, please don't be ours.
Number 2, Dunkin'.
Oh, it definitely was.
Surprisingly, that Dunkin' was because everybody rolls in with Dunkin', but maybe then they do the same thing that they do with they sugar it up to force that down. They have to. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
I thought I liked Dunkin' coffee, but I did not like that.
Will that affect you now when you they're saying, hey, we're going to Dunkin'? Will you now?
I'm gonna say, let me just bring a cup of number 3. Wherever number 3's from, I'm gonna bring a cup of it with me. Where's number 3 from?
Number 3 is Green Mountain Medium Roast K-Cup.
No way.
No way.
No way. Well,
it's delicious.
Yeah. That was a good cup.
You know what that makes number 4 from, right?
Smooth. Surprisingly.
Number 4 had no smell.
Surprised by that.
Number 4 is ours with no smell.
Number 4 is the stuff Scott brewed today. It is not the church K-Cup. It is what Scott brewed today in-house.
Oh, early this morning. Does coffee lose its flavor and smell through the day? I mean, you brewed that at 8 hours ago.
8 o'clock this morning, 8:30 this morning. I would think like anything. It's just sitting there on the hot plate cooking. I mean,
which I bragged on 4. 4 was good. I said if it was
smooth.
A K-Cup, it would definitely drink it. It's definitely smooth.
Yeah, but I'm disappointed that there's no aroma to it. But it did go down smooth and there's no. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board now.
Yeah, we got to figure out how to get some aroma there.
Yeah, long lasting. If you're gonna have a pot that sits
there for 8 hours, it needs to be long lasting.
Yeah, we're gonna work on.
He threw a wrench in us though. I didn't know we were getting 8 hours.
Hey, he got me.
But Green Mountain, tell me that one more time, Caleb. Green Mountain
Medium Roast K-Cup.
Yeah,
bro, I'm not even a K-Cup fan.
Me either.
And we were supposed to have 6, but Carson and Kent forgot that they were supposed to be filling these up while we were setting up today. So there was only 4.
Yeah,
that's all right. That's plenty.
4 is good.
4's plenty.
Yeah.
But definitely.
I mean, I finished the last 2.
Definitely, Starbucks is hard to drink.
Yeah.
Dunkin' was impossible to drink. Black.
Surprised by Green Mountain K-Cup.
Surprised by the K-Cup. The K-Cup was warm, though, so that did kind of help to and I say warm. It was coffee temperature.
Yeah.
The other three were a little cooler.
Yeah.
Definitely more almost room temperature. So
That was probably the fresh
the
brewed
freshest,
out
yeah.
of the Keurig.
yeah, so probably definitely
That
the
was good.
freshest. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people would be able to tell if on Sunday morning you just brewed something different. Like if you brewed Maxwell House or Folgers or
Ooh.
whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think people would be able to tell?
I think there'd be some. I mean, surprisingly, because again, I'm not used to the Folgers or Maxwell House, and not to, I don't know. I don't know how to mention it or talk about it, but we've gotten some very good feedback on our coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
We had the prayer conference here a couple weeks ago, and people from other churches who aren't drinking our coffee regularly on Sundays were coming in and saying, "Hey, this is some good coffee." And then you get to expand on that. Well, this is what we get to do.
We've thought about doing a peppermint flavor.
No, we did.
No,
we
we didn't.
didn't. Somebody had the idea of the peppermint flavor, and they talked me into it. I tried it at one time, and it did not.
Thought about some caramel, some different flavors of it.
Yeah. Well, the peppermint idea of crushing up
That
peppermints
doesn't work.
and then mixing it in with the grounds, no, that did not fly very
How
well.
about how do you get let's say caramel? How do you get caramel into caramel? Caramel. What do you call it?
I go caramel.
Caramel. How do you get caramel into the bean? How does that happen? If I get a bag of beans and it says caramel flavored, how do I get caramel flavoring into the bean?
I think a lot of it comes with so the beans are probably coated in some kind of flavored oil in a way. A lot of times.
Interesting.
And there's ways they can incorporate it in the roasting process of it. But I feel like that's a bigger thing, and you risk that's gonna linger in your roaster. You can't just then roast something else right after that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's probably our caramel blend roaster right there. That's
How about you have two Mario 11, 12?
Mario's 11.
11. So you have two boys, one full-grown teenager, girls go wild over him, and one
Alberto,
still growing into, he's so kind, he's so loving, he's got that Slate nature, he's just so, such a gentle human, like his dad. If you were looking at people out here watching this and saying, give me some advice on raising my son, raising boys to be good humans, godly men, what's some wisdom you can give us on raising boys? Because raising boys is hard, man.
It is. They are. Boys can be. I mean, it's a challenge.
Yours were
I think girls are
definitely
harder, but boys.
Yeah, girls are way harder.
But with boys, for me, it's been you build a good rapport with them. I mean, you are friendly with them. But it almost. I think a lot of it is there's respect and manners. You really kind of make those the priorities with them. You want to be able to, over everything else, there has to be, and you have to really press. You need to be respectful when you're out and with other people, and you need to be good mannered. Being good mannered, I think, goes a long way. And
so your boys were very not, they were full of energy. They were not just sit there and play on a phone. They were full of energy. They were boys. You know what I mean? They were
they run
climbing
around
the walls,
busy.
running, jumping. They were doing all the things. And I'll be happy to talk about discipline for Caleb or for my kids, but what did discipline look like inside of your house?
Well, there is a you you got to be the authoritarian. Sometimes
You got it. You got that
you
in you.
got
You
to
got
be
that
able
mean guy
to
in you somewhere.
switch the Hulk,
No, you
the
don't.
gorilla out a little, turn into the.
I see that in Maria.
Okay, it's got to
Not
be this, and I think that's where it goes, and that's where it kind of helps because you can be like, hey, yeah, everything cool, you have a good day, and then when it's serious, then you amp up and be like, oh, you guys,
my goodness.
this is not the way we do it.
Really?
Yeah, this is not how it's done. And when you show that strictness and that that authority,
that whole
anger, yeah, it gets okay. This is real. We got to pay attention, and we've seen dads normally like this. Obviously, it's wrong if dad's taking it to this.
Did you ever have to apologize to your kids for anything?
Yes.
Get so mad that you had to apologize?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Not so much with the boys. Blanca for sure.
Really?
And with Blanca,
you got a story that you'll tell us?
Blanca's the oldest.
You got a story you'll tell us?
I mean, there's a few things.
Tell me a story of when you had to apologize to Blanca, if you will. If you don't want to, it's okay.
There was one time we were running late for something, and she was going to be like the leader of the event. Winterfest is coming up, so Winterfest stands out. There was a time she was going to be the leader at Winterfest. We're on our way over here, or not even left yet. She's like running late. She's not prepared. It's time to go, and I'm like, hey Blanca, you can't be a leader. Like, this is not what a leader does. This is not acceptable. This is not how it goes. And I really drilled her on it and made her to the point to where she was crying. And when I've ever pushed Blanca into crying, that's when it was like, okay, I stepped away. It was like I took it too far.
Yeah.
And that's when I would go in and say, Blanca, I'm sorry for this. I pushed it too far. But this is the point I was trying to get across, and not to get back into it, but just to apologize. I'm sorry for that, for making it take this far. It's not what I wanted to happen. The boys, I've never really had to do that. I feel like poor Blanca, being the oldest, went through a lot of lessons that I learned about parenting through Blanca. So when it comes with the boys, it's a little bit like, okay, I don't want to push them into crying. And with the boys, I think they understand a little bit differently.
You ever had a situation, Caleb? Have I ever apologized to you for anything? Ever got so mad that I had to apologize to you?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. How about Maria? Any moments where you had to apologize to her for?
Oh man, what you mean, like today or? I did, yeah.
Did she ever apologize to you for anything?
Oh man, on the spot right now. Yeah, yes, she did. She did. Sweet thing that she is. I'm sure she felt bad for making me cry at times. But no. Yeah, just she's a no.
No. Let's have some more coffee. How about that?
Yeah.
Number 4, man. That was
4 was good.
Delicious.
Take another cup of number 4.
Yummy. You have in ministry, you've done a lot of things. What's the most impactful thing that you've ever seen in ministry?
Ever seen?
Mm-hmm. Ever been a part of? Ever led?
I mean, the time. The time that we did, that streak of the day we had all the baptisms, like
amazing.
When they just kept
unbelievable
coming up, like. What a day that was, man.
Day.
I mean, just thinking about it, you think it's like they would just keep. Everybody, like, it felt like our whole congregation was like, let's keep going. There was the one time Miss Aura was watching online, and then drove to the church and ran in to get baptized. I mean, that was awesome.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Baptisms here have been wild, man. It has been a season where, a few years now where if we're not careful, we start taking for granted all of the stuff that's happened around here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really amazing. It's been incredible.
And I think it just continues to get more because now we're seeing a lot of the kids come up, and that's really where it becomes so powerful to me.
First time guests, like people coming in, yeah, it's crazy.
Like the 10, 11, 15, 16-year-old boys walking up there, and their crews all sitting in the front, like watching them come out. I remember my boys just did it, a month or so ago, and it was like it was strange. They're sitting with their mom, and they come in. They were like, "Hey, I think they went to the bathroom, came up, and said, "Hey, did they call for baptisms?" And Maria was like, "Oh yeah, he just did." And then she turned around, and then they were walking up to the front, and just seeing the young people now come up is such a beautiful thing because the things that going on in school and with things nowadays, so much harder for them to kind of make that stance and to make that declaration and to really to do that in the house and in front of their peers. It's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah. Blanca's what, like 22?
She'll be 22 at the end of the month.
Okay.
She's 21.
So she is she's growing up.
Yeah. She is, and that's tough because you see, like, you get those reminders on your phone like 8-10 years ago, and there's like this little girl sitting there. She used to be in gymnastics, so you get a lot of like, hey, at this time you were at this meet, and here's this little girl there, and you're like, that's what I see. Like, that's what I still remember. And when Maria and I are talking about Blanca, it's like that's still the little girl that I'm picturing when she's saying, Blanca needs this or she's doing this, and I'm like, well, that's. And then this woman comes out of the bedroom and is like, hey, I'm going to work. Or
yeah, I feel the same way about all of my kids. All of them, but Caleb's in a season of his life where he's talking next steps, and you start having to picture them as adults and not as that little boy that was running around with his red cowboy hat on, riding his stick pony all through the house. And it's like, man, like I'm thankful and proud of him and thankful for the man of God he is, and I'm thankful for the woman of God that he's found. But man,
you have different conversations. You find yourself talking to them a little bit different at times. At least I do with Blanca. I've before where again I was kind of more of the, I don't know, the authoritarian, I guess, of the family. So you're becoming less of like, Blanca, you need to do this, more than just kind of advice of or coaching her. Hey, Blanca, you need the you can do this, or you should do it this way. It becomes more advised than actual teacher, I guess.
Yeah, and honestly, like with Caleb specifically, we're at this weird place to where, as the role that I've always played in his life, not playing it anymore to him, but to me, I haven't got through that to where I'm not playing this role in your life anymore. And so he says something to his mama, and I go, I immediately, like he's a 6-year-old kid, flare my nostrils and what are you doing talking to your mama like that? But he's a grown man, and he's having grown up conversations now.
It's very hard, man. Like, parenting is one of the toughest. No one's ever told us or prepared it, like the stages that they're in. Like you said, like now with the kids, Blanca and Caleb being that age to where you're like, they're adults getting ready to like lift off from the nest, so to speak.
And you spend your whole life to prepare them to launch.
And now you're
And
just
now
almost
they're
like,
getting ready
"Are
to
you sure
launch,
you
and you're
want-"
like, no. Stop the countdown. We're not ready to
Yeah.
launch. Bring, redo.
It's a strange. It's so hard to.
Because to them, they're ready to launch.
Yeah, they're ready to get on with their lives. Like,
I'm not ready for them to launch.
it's Blanca's seeing things and wanting to do things that are not like the five of us together doing them. It's Blanca and her boyfriend, or Blanca and her friends wanting out to, and future things, that her future plans, and it's just now like not in our perspective, and it's very difficult to see. Like, she's got her whole life. You've created this human being, and you've prepared her for the life's challenges and to get out there and do things. But how do you, like, the role has to change. Like, they're going out there. You want to continue life with them in a different stage, right? They're not your.
You want to continue life with them, but the role that you're playing in their life is not the same. And now I don't know how to play a different role.
Yeah,
in
what's
their
the
life.
role I have now?
What is my role now? Because all I've ever known is this role. So what's my role now? And especially, like, with, I think one of them getting older, like for us, one of our children are at that place. But when multiple ones, or even all of them, get to that place, I think that's when you really allow that, maybe don't allow that empty nest, syndrome almost to set in of, I've always been this. This has always been my role for your life. And now my role's completely different, or I have no role for your life, I mean, how many 24, 25-year-olds walk away and never call their parent anymore? I mean, never,
And there's a concern of that. Like, once you've loosened the nest a little bit, and they are out in the world and they've got their lives and they're independent. What's the connection now? How do you keep tethered? Because I know, with our experiences or my family's, it's always not been that case, and that's always been like my focal point has been my family from the beginning. It's always been like family is my thing. Like, I was a stay-at-home dad for a while. It was, I've got to protect my family. I'm nurturing and cultivating my kids. So how does everything that I've tried to instill, like, and what's been Blanca's intake of that, and now her, like, the results of that going out into the world, that's the litmus test, I guess. I don't know if you can really judge. I don't know if doing a good job is the answer, but now that you
did I provide enough value to your life to where now you're launching out into your own life that you still want to allow me to be a part of your life?
Yeah. Oh, man. And that's I don't know if
maybe we need to turn off the cameras.
That's
and have
the hard.
Some.
Are you ready? Are you ready for that answer?
I'm not ready for that answer.
Yeah, man.
Did I provide enough value for your life that now when you've moved on from your life and you don't need me in your life anymore, that you will still allow me to be a part of your life and play a role in your life?
And and how much, like, now, how much do you fight for that role? Like, I want to be I'm willing to.
Well, I mean, you see it, especially
take the back seat, so to speak, where
Yeah.
you've been the driver.
Yeah.
Now you've almost got to sit in the back seat a little bit and give up and just say, I'll take whatever you've got from me. I'm going to take.
It's why when people have grandkids, that the grandparents do everything they can to stay there and to be a part of not because they love the grandkid, yes, but because they want to stay connected to the family. They want to stay
Mhm.
connected to the season that they're in. It's the reason why even me now, where we have done a lot more traveling, vacations, and family stuff together outside of just this bubble of Myrtle Beach, outside of just going to dinner together. We've done a lot more vacations because I want memories to be a part of what they think of me. You know, I want them to remember all of the time, effort, and energy that Dad invested.
What about keeping that in, like for the future goes, like family trips in the future look like? Or is it ready to expand that out to where now there's a whole nother layer?
I remember Tony talking about when Eric went with them on their first family vacation because
Yeah.
him and Kent got married, and he was like, you know, his daughter Kent was like, I guess she's probably like 24, 23, 24.
Yeah.
And
23, I think
you know,
she's just above Blanca.
so they go on a family vacation and they're planning to rent another hotel room, and Tony's like, what are we renting another hotel room for? And Kimberly's like, for Kent and Eric. And he was like, he's coming? You know? They did family pictures, and he was like, Tony's like, he's in the pictures now?
Yeah.
What is happening?
That's another, I think that's also something that you got to deal with that's hard to interpret and to kind of change the dynamic of things, is that and that it's a good thing, but in a way, like, how does your family grows to that other level, but still mentally that's your family is still this solid group that you've seen every year doing things and
Knowing that
accepting somebody else in the circle.
knowing that Blanca staying with you till she's 28 is not the right answer.
No, it's not good for her.
It's not good for her.
Not healthy for her.
Not healthy for your family. But yet
There's something
also
inside you that wants that.
Yeah, but also Blanca running away. I say running away, like moving off to California, is not good for you either. That would be
No.
really hard for Caleb to look at me and say, "Hey, I'm running off to California."
Yeah.
I would struggle if he moved off to Florence, South Carolina. You know?
It's funny you say that because I did that to my mom. I wonder what they were thinking at that time. Gosh, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, for that. But
Yeah, seriously. It's wild, man.
yeah,
It's wild. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me.
it was fun.
Let's get some aroma in that coffee.
Yeah, I got to work. I got to go back to the lab and figure out some.
Yeah, we got to get some aroma.
Some longevity in our coffee.
Longevity in the aroma. Love you, man. Appreciate
I love
you.
you too.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Love y'all. Peace out. Let's
See
go.
ya.